haven't heard those guys haven't had anything sort of a great game this year, so it's tough. I mean, if those guys aren't hitting, it just kinda leaves the bulk of it to Jimmy and Bam, and while they've done pretty well, it's just when you're not living up to what Jokic and Jamal Murray are doing, it's a long series.
656 ESPN, 656-3776, the Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone lines. You can call or text. You can also get at us on Twitter. I am at I am Pledger. He is at Jack_Thompson33. And of course, you can always watch, follow along, and comment on YouTube, youtube.com. Search San Antonio Sports Star, SA Sports Star, and you can get it now. The NBA Finals is over, and that's going to transition very quickly into other things, right?
Mhm.
That's going to transition into the offseason. That's going to transition into the draft, and the draft means finally we'll get some finality and be able to call Victor San Antonio's
Yep.
Victor Wembanyama. Till it happens, we have to at least, as much as we assume it's going to be him, you have to leave even a 1% chance or a 0.01% chance of something crazy happening, right?
I suppose. I can't imagine that happening, and I think the city would riot, but
But you have to start looking towards the calendar and seeing, look, draft's coming, Victor's coming. We see that there's a good chance that it looks like Chris Paul is going to be released.
Mhm.
He's going to add to that free agent market. I just saw a recent rumor that said Phoenix may chase James Harden, adding another name to his potential suitors, which, I mean, if you're losing to Chris Paul, James Harden as a point guard,
Yeah.
it's not the worst thing. He has worked with Kevin Durant
Mhm.
when they were in Brooklyn together. So
And in the Thunder.
and with the Thunder. So that leaves the question, where does Chris Paul go? A lot of people are trying to, connect dots to Los Angeles, either Los Angeles team. Other teams are trying to connect the dots to Boston needs a guy like Chris Paul
Mhm.
to help initiate an offense because Marcus Smart isn't really that guy. You can't ask Malcolm Brogdon to do it really. And the offense just kind of goes away when things aren't going right, when Tatum and Brown are trying to initiate it late in games. So maybe they need a floor general of sorts. And it would make sense. I could see that. What if I made the case for the San Antonio Spurs?
Can't say I'm opposed. I mean, definitely be great for all the younger guys on the team.
I know a lot of Spurs fans would be opposed. There are a lot of Spurs fans. There's a big sect of Spurs fans that is, I don't know, they just hate Chris Paul for whatever reason, dating back to his days in New Orleans.
Yeah.
They just don't like him. And then, of course, there was him knocking out of the playoffs. And what was it, 2015 with the Clippers? What year did the Clippers knock the Spurs out? It was shortly after their title, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So there is some bad blood there. But Chris Paul turns teams around wherever he goes. And what's the one thing we've said about this Spurs team? It is a young team in need of some veteran leadership, and it's about to get younger when you add a Victor Wembanyama.
Mhm.
So what's the best way to help kind of offset it and maybe put this quote-unquote rebuild on the fast track to kind of what happened in 98, 99? How do you best do that? And I think a guy like Chris Paul does that, because just look at where he's gone within the first couple of seasons. He first gets to New Orleans. They win a franchise record 56 games. He first gets to the Clippers. They win a franchise record 57 games. He gets to the Rockets, franchise record 65 wins.
Yeah.
He took an Oklahoma City team that had no business into the playoffs and really gave that Houston team hell his first year back with that team. And then you look at what he did with the Phoenix Suns in his second year, they won 63 games.
Yeah.
He goes places, he turns around the culture. And what is one of the most talked about things we've said about this Spurs team, roster, whatever it may be? Needs a point guard, right?
Yeah, definitely
Needs a
needs a
point guard, and it needs some veteran leadership.
Mhm.
Chris Paul gives you both of those things, and when you're bringing in Victor, he brings in a guy that knows what it takes to win.
Yeah. No,
Maybe not a title.
that's definitely huge for a young team is, figuring out what it takes, and Chris Paul's right there, so I'm definitely not opposed. It's gotta be the right deal, and I don't want it to be a long-term deal for
No,
sure,
it's
but
not like a long, 40 million a year type deal.
but I think that's yeah, not 40 for sure, but I think Chris Paul is definitely looking for something longer.
Oh, absolutely. He's probably looking at about 3 years, I would imagine,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I would take 3 years.
But you get him at 3, what are you putting him at? 30?
That still seems like so much.
It is, but who else are you paying outside of Keldon?
Yeah. I mean, gotta pay Devin next year.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to Chris Paul. It just has to be the right deal for the right money, right length. But not opposed. I think he would definitely do well for us. He would, great mentor, incredible basketball IQ, no doubt about that.
Mhm. The injuries are a concern,
Mhm. But again, we're not shooting for the title exactly right now, so
but you bring in Victor Wembanyama with all of the hype, hoopla, and expectations placed upon his shoulders
mhm.
before he's even stepped foot or been drafted by the San Antonio
Yeah.
Spurs of what he can do for this team. You add a Chris Paul. We've seen what this team is when fully healthy. They start 5-2. Sohan was a second team all rookie. Devin Vassell, when healthy, looks really, really good. Keldon Johnson was averaging over 20 points a game last year.
Yeah.
You've got a solid roster that I feel like can compete even in the Western Conference, which is brutal.
Yeah, I mean, with adding a Chris Paul, that definitely raises our floor quite a bit. Definitely into the play-in, lower playoff seed caliber teams, I would say. But I think if I mean, I really d I would like Chris Paul. I think he would help out a lot, but I more trying to get a a big center to bang with the other big centers so that, Wemby doesn't have to do a lot of that.
You're looking for, be it Boos,
Vooch or
Brook.
Brook. Yeah. Probably Brook more than Vooch. Cheaper, better defender, better shooter. Probably Brook Lopez, but again, that also seems as far-fetched as landing Chris Paul. But so did the number 1 pick, so the opportunities are endless for the Spurs right now.
He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, the Cowboys have finished up mini camps. They are gone until training camp. What did we learn about the Dallas Cowboys from their mandatory mini camps? What can we take away from some of the things that the coach has said? Jack and I will get into it next right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTRCM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You can find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The only gun show left in San Antonio this weekend at the Alzafar Shrine Temple, 1604 in Blanco. It's the largest gun show in South Texas, featuring guns, knives, military collectibles, ammunition, and much more. Today, 10 to 5, and tomorrow, 10 to 4.
I was in a terrible accident with a commercial vehicle. I had to have surgery on my back. My life was turned upside down and I was completely screwed. Then I called the Force, the Davis law firm. Jeff personally handled my case. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $397,988. It's really true. Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
This is Mike Greenberg, and you're home for the Dallas Cowboys. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 1250.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover. We are your hangover without the headache here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM. SA Sports by Jack Thompson this morning as we get you ready for a great weekend. As a matter of fact, I'm hitting the river as soon as this is over.
Nice. I'm going Sunday.
Nice. Which river are you going to?
They're going to the Kamal.
Nice.
Yeah.
So ended up in New Braunfels.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Chase Knoll says CP3 wants a ring like yesterday. Don't think he would come to SA. And Hunter Hitch says I am pleasure at Jack_Thompson33 here on our Twitter feed that Chris Paul would certainly help the Spurs get to the playoffs, but would he be available for those playoffs? That's the real question. That's kind of the only question with Chris Paul, but at the same time, the Spurs training staff has helped prolong so many careers. Do you not trust them to put him in a position to succeed? They're very careful. They make sure and go about prolonging players' careers by load managing and doing things that they have to. Yes, this past year, don't at me.
Yeah.
Or at me, I don't care. But this past year was an anomaly because a lot of these injuries probably weren't as bad. I mean,
Zach Collins sat out because he had a paper cut.
exactly, and then had surgery on it.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. But up at the Star, they finished up mandatory mini camps this week. So now the Cowboys go away, and we won't see them again until late July when teams return to start training camps, which means a little bit of break without football. But that means we're also really close to the football season starting again.
Oh, man, I want it to start so fast.
So fast. And one of the biggest questions has been about this offense, right?
Mhm.
This offense has kind of been this incredible change in philosophy. We heard 15%, and then when it's 20, now it's 30. Like, the percentage of how much the offense is changing keeps going up. Well, new offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, who was brought in to kind of help install McCarthy's new offense, and the one that Dak will be running, talks about kind of what they're going through. And Dak Prescott even, well, he had a fun little name. I don't know if this one's going to stick as well, but he talks about kind of what they're doing, changing this offense and what they call it.
It's funny. This is the Texas Coast. We've just renamed that the quarterback. So it's got definitely some West Coast principles, but has a little bit of what we've done in the past, and just obviously marrying them together with a lot of detail and maybe, in a sense, a system that's not out there. So there you go.
The Texas Coast.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, Tex Coast.
No, Texas Coast. I like Tex Coast better,
Yeah.
but even Tex Coast feels Houston.
No, I mean, I would
Dallas is
say
nowhere near a coast.
yeah. But
Like, the West Coast was invented in San Francisco, right? San Francisco's on the bay. Parsing hairs, but
if it's a combination of that, then, Tex Coast works. I think it's cool. There are teams that are not near the West Coast that run a West Coast style offense.
sure. But that's just the style of offense.
So if we're melding
Sure.
our previous,
Why not Tex West?
no, that doesn't come off the tongue as easy.
I don't know. It's so far from the coast that I just have an issue with trying to name it that. But that's personal preference. I understand the principles of it,
Mhm.
but I also question the principles of it. But Brian Schottenheimer was talking about how they've gone about in implementing this offense and kind of marrying the two with kind of what they were doing versus what they're bringing to the table as they further remove themselves from Kellen Moore's offense. Some of the veterans have been very heavily involved with the changing of the system.
Well, I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit before. The number one thing is, I said it, and I do believe it, it wasn't broke. I mean, what they've done here over the last, 5, 6, 7 years has been really good since Dak came in the league. We wanted to keep a lot of that in place. It's what our players know. We're a veteran, strong offense that's added some really cool pieces. We were very selective about the changes that we made. We tried to protect some of the language, the things that Dak has used for a long time. But we certainly added some wrinkles. And so, not to put a number on it, but we're somewhere in that, keep 70%-ish. We've certainly added some flavor, but I think the things that we've put in that were new, not only Dak, but Zach and Tyron and those guys, TP, they all like some of the adjustments and things that we've made. So it really has been a very collaborative thing where a lot of good give and take of the stuff that's been in place, stuff that Mike's done, stuff that I've done in Seattle. And again, it's nice to kind of get through this off season, and then we'll go to training camp, tweak some things, and then start getting ready for games.
Have they been lying to us, Jack?
About what specifically?
Well, if you remember around the NFL scouting combine when Mike McCarthy spoke, when they got rid of Kellen Moore just the week
that
prior.
they want to run the ball.
They want to run the damn ball.
I mean, I don't think it's a change in how much we're going to run it, because we were already running it at a top 5 clip in the league. I think it's more situational in terms of running at different times instead, I don't think we're gonna be running it anymore, or, I mean, maybe any less, but I think it'll be more about when we're running, what kind of run plays we're dialing up, stuff like that.
Because I keep hearing this, and McCarthy has said this in multiple forums, on multiple different press conferences, how they want to be committed to the run, how they want to run the ball. And nothing about Mike McCarthy's past suggests that he wants to do that
Yeah.
as a play caller. And then they bring in a Brian Schottenheimer, who is most notably known for letting Russ cook, which didn't work out, by the way. They went away from the run with Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that was a ploy used to get Kellen Moore out the door. Because Mike McCarthy also mentioned, because Dalvin Cook was being released on Thursday, or the reports were, doesn't sound like he has any interest in adding a Dalvin Cook right now. He likes the running back room as it is. And the running back room as it is has one proven commodity in it.
Yeah.
Who has never handled a full load.
I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, there's been no indication of, moves made or anything that we are going to be, the Tennessee Titans and just run the ball every down.
Exactly. But the final kind of point to why I think they're lying to it may come from their offensive lineman, Zach Martin.
Yeah, I think obviously, you want to get better each year, but it's been good having Mike in there. I think he's going to bring an edge to our offense. I think, we're still going to run the football. It's going to be a big part of what we're doing, but I think just the communications and little details that we've added this year are going to allow everyone to be on the same page when we're out there running plays. What's that? He's got a little edge. He's a Pittsburgh guy. He's got a little edge at all times, and that, when the guy in front of you is showing that every day, it rubs off on the group. So I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, he wants to bring an edge to the offense. I don't know specifically if it's about running the football more, but not being on the same page. And we heard CeeDee Lamb say this earlier too. Dak and him weren't on the same page. And if you're trying to get everybody on the same page, it's pretty easy when you're running the football to have everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
But it sounds like from CD and Dak and everyone else, and you go out and add a Brandon Cooks, who, let's face it, he's a great receiver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's known for blocking. But you lose a very willing blocker in Noah Brown. I can't wait to see what this offense looks like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
More so than anything, I am just intrigued by what this is actually going to look like, because we've heard so many things that they want to do one thing and so many moves that say they're going to do the other. And I want to see what the finished product of this looks like. But probably the best news of all, I don't think the offense is that important.
Yeah, I mean, with the way the defense is looking, the offense just kind of has to, it doesn't fall into their laps.
Score 24 points. You're
Yeah.
probably going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the defense looks incredibly stacked.
This is one of the best Cowboys defenses I've seen since probably the 90s.
Yeah, easily. It's no weaknesses at any level of our defense.
You add a Stephon Gilmore, you re-sign your safeties, you keep Leighton Vander Esch, you add a Mozzie Smith in the middle, you retain Jonathan Hankins. Sam Williams is going into his second year. Like that defense looks like it's going to be insanely good.
A lot of big talk about Jabril Cox out of minicamp.
And Damone Clark.
Yeah. And those guys, I mean, Damone Clark was really good last year. We didn't get to see a lot of Jabril Cox because I think he was injured for a good portion of the season. But there's been a lot of lot of good talk about those 2 in the linebacker room, so very excited about that. Not to mention we get Overshown in there too.
You get Demarion back.
Their 4th linebacker is Demarion Overshown.
Well, the offense, while the defense is going to carry things, the biggest thing about the offense, I think, is going to be Dak and those turnovers. How do they get those worked out? Jack and I are going to talk about it next right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe. Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
At the Home Depot, we take Father's Day seriously. Why not get doing and give Dad a gift card that gets him out of the house and into new projects? Because the dads who do the most deserve the most, whether he's into woodworking, yard work, or grilling up something for the family. A Home Depot gift card gives your dad the power to get everything he needs to keep doing the most. Shop today for a gift that powers Dad at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom-designed building. Just call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74. Find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now. That's 888-74-STEEL.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Have you seen the cost of eggs lately? With these prices, we'd barely be scraping by if it weren't for Dave. It's the banking app that advances us up to $500 instantly. There's no interest, late fees, or credit checks. No joke. You can get extra cash for anything your family needs. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You could throw your flip-flop at a bug.
Ew, a bug, get it.
But the chances of actually hitting it
over there,
are statistically,
it's still alive.
Unlikely. good thing nature's got your back. Stem bug killers combine powerful active ingredients found in plants like lemongrass and geraniol and scientifically engineer them into effective bug-fighting formulas, safe for use as directed around people, pets, and throughout the home. Stem, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control rental and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I'm James Pledger, joined by Jack Thompson. We get you through your Saturday and then head out to the river.
Oh, yeah.
Always a good time when you're on a body of water, especially with as hot as it's been lately. I hear yesterday it got.
Yeah, last 2 days have been hot.
I heard it got pretty warm the other day. But look at the Dallas Cowboys. We've talked a lot about the offense, how great the defense is going to be, but I think the offense revolves around kind of one thing. That's the quarterback. That's Dak Prescott. As the guy who is about to go into a year next year when he's going to have a $60 million cap hit. And they're going to rework it because they have no other options.
Yeah.
So Dak is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, Dak had issues. A lot of people were talking about being on the same page. Brian Schottenheimer, the new offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, talked about how to fix Dak's turnovers.
You know, he certainly does need to be fixed. There's no question about that. I mean, Dak's a great player. You guys know that. You guys have watched him more than I have. But he's a competitor, right? I mean, he's going to go out there and he's going to compete, and he's going to, I can make that throw. And so he's just got to understand situations of the game and down and distance and all that stuff, and clean up some of the decisions that, that he knows last year he kind of missed. But I love one of my early experiences as a coordinator was with the Jets, and it was 2008, and I was coaching Brett Favre. And so you guys have seen Brett play. He would force the ball into trap. There'd be like three guys there waiting for it. One of the three was going to catch it. And he'd come over. I'd be like, dude, like, what are you doing? He'd say, yeah. Hey, my bad. I'd be, all right, we're good. And move on. And I'd get up to leave, and he'd go, hey, Shotty, I can make that throw, though. I can make that throw. I was like, dude, that's not the point. Yeah, you can. You can make that throw sometimes. So it's a little bit of that competitive spirit. These guys, they all have that. And again, Dak loves some of the things that we're doing, from training the footwork and timing and some of the rhythm things, tying the routes to his feet. So we expect him to have a huge year.
Sounds like they're going to let Dak be Dak.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to that.
So was last year an anomaly? An aberration?
I would say so. I mean, you got to go to the previous years, and before that, it was his turnovers were never a big problem. So, just by the sheer history of his timeline in the NFL, last year was an anomaly, and I think some of it has to do with a depleted wide receiver room, where no one was really getting separation outside of CeeDee Lamb, and even he's not an extreme burner. He's fast and quick and twitchy and all that, but I think with hopefully Michael Gallup back to where he was, and then the addition of Brandon Cooks and his elite speed, I think there will be a lot more separation, and that turns to easier throws. So
and a lot of people have talked about Brandon Cooks,
but
I've also found it interesting that this offseason, especially when asked about Brandon Cooks, even another wide receiver's name's being brought up.
I'm a big fan of Brandon, and the speed is evident, but just watch the way he works in practice. Jalen Tolbert's had an incredible camp. And if you talk to Jalen, what Jalen's going to tell you is he's spent a ton of time with Brandon. And so here's a guy that's been there, done that. And what Brandon wants to do, although come and learn the system, is he wants to encourage and invest in the younger guys. And so those guys spend a lot of time together. I see them before practice in the weight room working together. So what Brandon brings us is way more than just speed. And absolutely, it's really fun to watch him run, whether it's deep routes, short routes, it really doesn't matter. But what I love is the competitor and the way he is encouraging that entire room of receivers. It's been awesome.
So everybody's been talking about Brandon's speed, but at every turn, it seems like people are talking about Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
Even Mike McCarthy said he and Sam Williams are two of the rookies from last year that are looking poised to make a huge jump in year 2.
That's I've seen a lot about Tolbert that he really showed out in minicamp.
That would be huge.
Yeah, it'd be massive.
Because as we stand, Jalen Tolbert looks like one of their biggest draft misses in a while.
Yeah. I'm excited for him. I think he definitely has a chance to go and, ball out and take that fourth receiver role. That guy that comes in off the pine, just implement some juice, catches big, passes when defense thinks that they're going, to CD or Michael Gallup or whoever else is in there besides him. So yeah, I think Jalen Tolbert could have a really good year.
And we've heard them talk a lot about being on the same page here this morning. Jalen Tolbert said himself he did not really grasp the offense in his first year. And part of that may have been trying to learn all the positions at once.
Yeah. Just too much, too fast for a rookie, it seemed like.
Well, a rookie out of South Alabama, too.
Yeah.
Like, smaller school. And a lot was put on his plate, especially being a third-round pick, and he just never lived up to it. And so you saw them going after guys like T.Y. Hilton and flirting with Odell Beckham Jr. all last season. So if Tolbert can be who they say he's being in camp so far, that's going to be a big addition, an addition that I don't think anybody's taking serious enough to this offensive side. Everybody's talking about the additions of Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, and the things that they add, even Deuce Vaughn to an extent.
Yeah.
Jalen Tolbert would be massive.
Yeah. No doubt about that.
If he can give them what Noah Brown gave them last year. But he'll also give them, because McCarthy's talked about, more speed too. Because McCarthy has said this is one of the fastest wide receiver rooms he's ever had.
Yeah.
When you look at CD and Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup and Jalen Tolbert. So that would give them, and you can even throw Tony Pollard into that mix.
Yeah, Turpin too.
And Turk.
Probably the fastest on the team.
Maybe. That's going to give them a lot of home run ability. And home run ability is big when you're talking about a team that, has a lot for it in terms of speed on that side of the ball. He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star, sasportstar.com, and on YouTube, as James Condor wrote in on our YouTube live feed, Texas Coast. Everyone talks about how great it is until you actually see it, and then you realize it's overhyped. I mean, I like going to the Texas coast, but yeah, if you've gone to any other coast anywhere, it's an overhyped coast. He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. More of the Saturday Morning Hangover coming up.
We see some patients who come in and they have been in just so much pain for so long that they are just deflated.
But that's about to change because QC Kinetics provides hope for relief using all new regenerative treatments that concentrate your body's own healing properties into aching hips, back, shoulders, and knees. And Dr. Zuckerman, a medical director at QC Kinetics, loves watching the patient transformations.
One of the most amazing things is when I get to see a patient who, after a few months of our treatments, is just a completely different person. They are smiling and happy, and the weight of the world is off their shoulders because we were able to take away their pain.
And that's with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
It's just amazing to be able to change people's lives like that. It's very gratifying.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh, yeah. Love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingarone, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Have you seen the cost of eggs lately? With these prices, we'd barely be scraping by if it weren't for Dave. It's the banking app that advances us up to $500 instantly. There's no interest, late fees, or credit checks. No joke. You can get extra cash for anything your family needs. Download the Dave app now or go to dave.com. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve. Member FDIC.
Attention all my poker players, San Antonio's premier card house is SA Card House, located at 281 North and Bitters, has the full attached bar, full grill with some of the best food you've ever had, and also one of the best old fashions you've ever had. But right now, it started on May 26th, they're doing the 124K giveaway. From May 26th all the way up till June 30th, they're gonna draw 17 hot seats per day, every hour, from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. That's right, 10 a.m., 2 a.m. every hour. Members who have more than 80 hours of playing time during the promotion period are going to receive that multiplier. 80 to 99 hours, 2 times the prize. 100 to 224 hours, 4 times the prize. And over 225 hours, you're going to get 6 times the prize amount. So you got to play to get the pay. That's SA Card House, the premier card house. Check it all out at sacardhouse.com. That's SA Card House at Bitters and 281.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The competition is on for Miss Twin Peaks 2023. Vote for your favorite Twin Peaks girl through June the 19th. Each vote gets her that much closer to the title of Miss Popular and a guaranteed spot in the top 10 during the live show. Visit MissTwinPeaks2023.com to vote.
Hi, April Ansira here from the Ansira Auto Group. And I'm Danielle Gunter, Executive Director of Texas Yes, here to tell you about Drive Away for Education raffle. With your purchase of a raffle ticket, you'll be directly benefiting students and schools across the state. And the winner will choose from a new Chevy, Nissan, Jeep, Volkswagen, or Kia, sponsored by the Ansira Auto Group. Purchase a raffle ticket today at texasyesproject.org. Winner responsible for tax, title, and license and federal withholding tax.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Ew.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave, and Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into the Saturday morning hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I'm James Pledger, joined by Jack Thompson. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at IamPledger. He is at Jack_Thompson33. You can always tweet at the station at SA Sports Star. And of course, you can get us on the Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone line, 656 ESPN 656 3776. You can call or text into that. Ken texted into it, sent an interesting article that I've kind of been reading through about Zeke visiting the Star last week.
Wow.
So we'll kind of see what happens with that, but we are in basketball off season for all but a couple of teams. And basketball off seasons where we start seeing hype videos, people being in a lab, making shots. I remember my favorite are usually like Ben Simmons making threes, working on his three ball. That's usually one of my favorite hype up videos of the off season. And I saw a headline where Ben Simmons has been in the lab. So I was like, all right, let's see him making some threes in a meaningless game with nobody guarding him that won't translate to the regular season. And I was shocked to find out it wasn't that. But the fact that Ben Simmons is yoked.
Oh, yeah. Big dude. He's been a big dude.
I mean, but like, he's felt like his arms were massive.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit shocked by that, seeing as, this guy that's been dealing with back problems. Right?
Yeah.
Because you got to lift heavy for that.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite storylines. One of your favorite storylines happens to be something that I didn't know was a thing until I just saw these photos.
Yeah. 2 years in a row now, we've been getting the photos of Slim Luka.
Skinny Luka.
Yeah.
It was the first I've seen of Skinny Luka. I've never seen a picture of Skinny Luka.
Yeah, last year when he was training to play for Slovenia, or I think he's Slovenian.
Slovenian.
Jokic is Serbian.
Yeah.
He was, cut down, looking trim, looking lean.
Because I saw him in the Worlds or the FIBAs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he looked slim.
I saw a picture earlier. Let's see if I can find it.
Regardless, though, like I didn't know this was a thing, and I saw it, and I was like, Jack, I think Luke's ready to go this year, man.
I mean, he's definitely looking the best that I've seen him look, but we've seen this before.
See, I'd never seen this before, so I bought all in as soon as I saw it. I was like, "Oh man, he is ready. He's ready to take this to the next level."
He's definitely more slim, but like this picture is Luka last summer, like at the Worlds.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's definitely looking as skinny as I think I've seen him. But we'll see what he looks like come
training camp.
Yeah.
What do you make of the rumors that Kyrie Irving's been recruiting LeBron to join he and Luka in Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, you can recruit LeBron all you want, but you have literally nothing to give up for him. Like,
they got the 10th overall pick.
Yeah, but that's not enough to go get LeBron. It's a very far-fetched dream. Like, we could have a better chance of getting LeBron than the Mavericks.
I mean, I don't think anything's off the table because all you have to do, we've seen it, player empowerment. All you have to do is force your way out. Say that, trade me here, and they get where they want to go usually.
Yeah. Like, it's still for a deal that is worth that player. The Mavericks, they don't have anything to go get LeBron. They would have to wait until LeBron was a free agent. Like, they just don't. It's very, very, very unlikely in my eyes that LeBron makes his way to Dallas.
What would be a move then, if not LeBron?
For Dallas?
No.
Oh.
This summer, that would make you go, wow.
I mean, if we saw Dame go anywhere, like especially if he went to...
You think that's a possibility?
The Heat? I really don't. I think they're still going to keep, going in that same cycle of trying to build around Dame, which, I mean, that's all great in terms of keeping your superstar happy. But if you're looking towards the future, don't think that the Blazers are going to accomplish anything with Dame. We're going into at least like year 12 now of having Dame. They've tried it with a whole bunch of players. I think in the Blazers' best interest, it would be to move Dame and rapidly begin the rebuild.
You feel so bad for Dame.
I don't feel bad for Dame. He's had so many options to leave as a free agent. And he always just resigns. I don't feel bad for him. He's making a crap load of money. It's his decision. He could have left a long time ago if he actually wanted to leave. So no, I don't feel bad for him. It's like I don't feel bad for Bradley Beal. It's your fault you're on the Wizards. You keep re-signing.
That's a guy I don't feel bad
Yeah,
about. You're right.
Dame's the same thing. Yeah, you take the massive contract, like, great for you. You're a loyal NBA guy, like, that's awesome. But if you were really wanting a ring, you could have been out of the Blazers, 6 years ago at least.
Well, to be fair, the last time he signed a contract extension, CJ McCollum was his running mate.
Yes, but CJ McCollum and Dame were never going to be the two. Like, there were always better teams than them. Like, that,
But he at
even
least had a second and a possible third in terms of Yusuf Nurkic before the injuries. Right?
I suppose, yeah. They were always really good, but I never saw that as a championship threat level team in my eyes.
Sure. He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover.
He actually re-signed in 2021 for a massive deal. So he could have gotten out 2 years ago.
But that was the year they traded CJ during the season, right?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, CJ was still there.
It was
a couple years
after he
ago.
signed his extension that they traded CJ away. Just saying.
They had already been on the same team for like 8 years at that point. It wasn't going to happen.
He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Did a former Dallas Cowboy take a swipe at his old team? I'm going to ask Jack next right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
It's time to play Stump the Experts, where today we'll try to stump Derek and Carlos, personal injury lawyers at Hilly and Solis, otherwise known as the Rexperts.
Hi, Harry. Fire away.
Carlos, how long after an accident do you have to file a personal injury lawsuit?
Well, Harry, there's a 2-year statute of limitations on filing.
Correcto, Rexpert man. Now, Derek, if a company goes bankrupt, can you still win and collect a big settlement?
You definitely can if the company had insurance.
Hey guys, one more question. How do you like my new baby blue suit with matching shoes and belt?
Honestly, that should be illegal.
Hurt in a wreck? You need to call the Rexperts at Hilly and Solis Law. Millions in settlements and no BS. The Rexperts are former prosecutors who are comfortable in the courtroom, and the Rexperts don't get paid unless your settlement is secured. See if your crash could turn into cash with the Rexperts, your accident injury lawsuit experts.
Experts are the way to go. Call 446-5000.
Call 1-877-RECT.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Do you consider yourself a bourbon connoisseur? At Twin Peaks, we're proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some of the most incredibly rare bourbons and whiskeys you're going to find. Also, rare and great tequilas. Plus, go check out the Barrel Selects, which are handpicked by Twin Peaks' team of experts that are bottled just for you.
What if you could build six-figure retirement income with almost right? Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
Texas-born, San Antonio bred. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, on YouTube, and always at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Nuggets get a 108-95 win over the Heat in Miami, taking a commanding 3-1 series lead. Game 5 as the Nuggets try and close it out back in Denver Monday night. The Rangers fell 8-3 in their opener to Tampa. They play again today, right here on San Antonio Sports Star at 2:30. And the Astros fell in 14 innings to the Guardians, 10-9. That series continues today at 5.
James Pledger, Jack Thompson, The Saturday Morning Hangover.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, ESPNSA.com. I'm James Pledger. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA Finals. But I had a question for Jack first, and my question revolves around the Dallas Cowboys and a former teammate of the Cowboys. Dalton Schultz took the podium at Texans minicamp this week. And I don't know if I'm reading into this. Joe Reinigle read into it the kind of the same way I did, but it sounded to me when talking about playing for the Texans or signing with the Texans that he was taking a thinly veiled shot at the Cowboys. And I'm going to let you hear this and make up your own mind.
I mean, going into that, like, I think, it's easy in the league to kind of underestimate guys and underestimate teams, especially you look at records, but, every record in the league, like any team can beat any team on any given Sunday. I know it's cliche, but like the margins of winning and losing in this league are so slim. And I think even looking back last year, especially like leaving that game, I just remember thinking like, damn, they got a really good young core. Especially I think the back end of the secondary like kind of impressed me playing against them, all the time. And so, just knowing that you're coming into a young team who's hungry, has got a lot of, young guys on rookie deals, hungry to prove themselves, I think is very, attractive and picking like where you want to play. And obviously, actually getting in the building, you start to see that there's actually a strong like veteran presence here as well. There's a lot of good leaders, especially on that defense. And I think, hearing some of those voices in these first couple months has been great. And honestly, it feels good to be in a place that like, I feel like very hungry coming to work, being around guys, that are that motivated to get better on a day-by-day basis.
I don't really hear anything that I would deem a shot at the Cowboys.
Feels good to come to work with a bunch of guys that are hungry.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt like it was different for the Cowboys.
I don't think that the Cowboys weren't hungry. I'm not insinuating that. But when I heard that, I was like, did he just say that the Cowboys weren't hungry and motivated to be better every day?
I think it's different because he's talking a lot about, younger guys on rookie deals. And obviously the Texans have a whole lot more of that than the Cowboys. So I think the energy around being, younger guys who are looking to prove themselves on, like a day-to-day basis and make a name for themselves in the league is a little different on the most like microscope dissected team in sport. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a different feel. You're, Texans, you're going in lunch pail every day. Like no one's really watching or paying attention to y'all. You're just grinding behind closed doors. You walk into the Cowboys, 100 cameras following you to the door. Like, yeah, I'm sure it's a little bit different, and it probably feels better to work like that than it does, to have every movement that you make, scrutinized or dissected. So yeah, I understand what he's saying. I don't take that as a shot at the Cowboys.
I heard it's nice to come to a place where everybody's hungry to go to work. And I was like, was it not like that in Dallas? And like I said, I may be reading into it because I know his tenure with Dallas became contentious in that final year with his contract. So I could see him holding some ill will
I'm sure
towards Jerry the Cowboy.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if he was insinuating that, hey, this team, they feel like they're already there and they're not, and they're not working to get to that next level the way they should. And it was, like I said, I may have read into it a little much, and it might be just him trying to hype up his new team. Not inadvertently saying something like that, not understand you're insinuating something else about your former team. Like, I can see it in both ways. But when, like I said, first heard it, I was like, oh, was that a shot? Because let's not get it twisted. Jane Slater, who comes on the Blitz weekdays during the football season, talked about how Dalton was very animositous towards the media and stuff as his contract was going on and the Cowboys themselves. And halfway through the season, like, it looked like he just was ready to get out of Dallas.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's purely because of the contract or if it was because of the locker room itself and being a part of that. There are multiple things that we'll probably never know about the inner workings.
Yeah.
But when you talk about guys that are, it feels like Dak is a hyper motivated guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Micah too. Like, I don't get that impression from, the big name leaders of the Cowboys that they're not going in ready to get better every day. So,
but that's also it. Maybe there are 2 hyper leaders or 3 hyper leaders, and the rest are, because let's face it, the NFC was down. You can moonwalk to 12 wins.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, especially when they played the Texans, it looked like they were moonwalking through games.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure it definitely falls, somewhere in the middle. There's probably right and wrong aspects to both thoughts. So, but I don't take that as what Dalton said as a shot towards the Cowboys.
Well, if not a shot towards the Cowboys, could it be, much like I suggested, him hyping up his new team, trying to get things ready and not inadvertently taking a shot? Because while you're hyping up a team, you happen to say some things that make people raise their eyes. And me, even as a diehard Texans fan, have what I feel like are super high expectations for this team after landing D'Amico Ryans, getting Bobby Slowick as an offensive coordinator, getting CJ Stroud, landing Jimmy Ward and Dalton Schultz and Sheldon Rankins in free agency, trading back up and bringing in Will Anderson, trading up 8 times in the draft to get Tank Dell and Juice Scruggs and different players. And I'm as hyped as anybody about this team. But when talking about whether he's thinking about his next contract because he signed a 1-year deal worth up to $9 million, he said something that, like, even me at my most hyped, I don't think I would go that far.
Be honest, like, I don't really care about that. First and foremost, like I said, coming into this, like, I'm just happy that I can play for another year. Whether that's on a 1-year, a 4-year, a 10-year, whatever it is, like, I'm excited that I got an opportunity to take another shot at, making a deep playoff run and ultimately winning the Super Bowl. And I think that's kind of what I'm most focused on. All that other stuff, like, I handle that, I leave that to my agent. I just let him kind of dictate, whatever he says, I kind of go with. So
deep playoff run?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Like I said, I am as hyped as anyone about what this team has done this offseason. That's a lot.
Yeah. That's a hefty ask.
The AFC is kind of a murderer's row if you haven't looked around, with the Jets adding Aaron Rodgers, the Dolphins being a playoff team with a healthy Tua this year. Of course, you got the Bills, you've got the Patriots, who now have an offensive coordinator and the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. You've got the AFC North with Deshaun and the Steelers, who have never had a losing record. And of course, the Ravens, who now have Odell and David Beckham. Like, I didn't even mention Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And then we can go the West, where, of course, the reigning champion Kansas City Chiefs live. And then, of course, you add on top of the Chiefs the fact that Kellen Moore is now with the Chargers, Russ under Sean Payton. Like, there's only a handful of bad teams in the AFC. Most of them reside in the Texans' own division, and then the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like,
a deep playoff run is a hefty ask, no doubt about
that feels like a very lofty, lofty expectation.
Yeah.
But I can see a way to a path to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because of the division that they're in.
When we dissected y'all's schedule when it came out, I think I remember saying there's 12 winnable games on that schedule. Like, you could go out and win. And of course you can, like you said, it's pro football.
You're going to get somebody.
The margin of error between winning and losing is definitely very small, like you said. So there are games when you can go out and beat anybody, but there were 12 games that you can look at and be like, okay, we match up evenly or better on paper with that team. So yeah, I mean, I think the Texans will have a much better season, but a deep playoff run, like we said, lofty expectations. Let's rein it back.
You're not in Dallas anymore.
Yeah.
It's not the NFC where there's only like 2 teams you're competing against. Yeah. He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover. When we come back, we are going to look at last night's Game 4 in the NBA Finals as the Nuggets take a commanding 3-1 series lead. And is there anything short of injury that the Heat can do to prolong this series? Or do we just start looking at the draft and free agency as the NBA season comes winding to a close? He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. You can follow us on Twitter. I am Pledger. He is at Jack_Thompson33. Of course, the station is at SA Sports Star, or you can hit us up on the Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone line, 656 ESPN, 656-3776. Call or text those, and we'll get to you as fast as we can. Coming back, NBA Finals. Is it over? Are we ringing the bell on the Miami Heats? Has the clock struck midnight on Cinderella? That's all coming up right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
A Carpenter's Creation on the air, reminding everyone to slow down in our child-populated areas, park, school zones. It could save a life. A Carpenter's Creation with over 40 years of experience. Full-service carpentry, building, remodeling, and more. At carpenterscreation.com or call 210-994-9912. 210-994-9912. A Carpenter's Creation, they're looking forward to serving you.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Successfully 11. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Right now at Diamonds Direct, whether you buy a $3,000 diamond pendant or a $30,000 designer ring, you can spread your payments up to 5 years. Or if you prefer, you can get on-the-spot savings as much as $5,000. And everything's included. Exquisite diamond rings, earrings, bands, bracelets. It's our best offer of all time. You can pick a low monthly payment for up to 5 years or get instant savings up to $5,000. Don't miss this amazing offer. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
This is Rob Thompson, and you are listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, man, that Blake concert in Houston is just coming right around the corner. I got to get me some tickets to that. Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM. And, of course, at sasportstar.com. I'm James Pledger. He is Jack Thompson. We are taking you till 11 o'clock. And don't forget, coming up a little bit later this afternoon, 2:30, Rangers pregame starts, 3:05 first pitch as they try and bounce back after back-to-back losses, closing out their series with a 1-0 loss to the St. Louis Cardinals and then dropping their opener yesterday against the Tampa Bay Rays by a score of 8-3. NBA Finals, though, it looks like that series is donezo.
Mm-hmm.
The Nuggets go up 3-1 last night, beat the Heat 108-95. Jokic didn't lead the team in scoring. Murray didn't lead the team in scoring.
Yep.
Aaron Gordon led the team in scoring.
AG.
The old dunk contest.
Always been a huge AG guy, man. I've always thought he was so good.
And what's so impressive about this Nuggets team to me is the fact that everybody outside of Michael Porter Jr. feels like they're bought in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Am I correct in assuming that?
You're absolutely correct in assuming that.
Look, Aaron Gordon knows his role. He knows he's going to have days like this. He knows he's going to have days where there's not a lot there for him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's accepted his role.
Yeah, and he thrives in it.
And he thrives in it. You've got Bruce Brown. You've got Christian Brown. You've got all of these pieces that know exactly when to kind of step on the gas, when they need to be called upon, when they're getting involved, versus when to let Jokic and Murray cook.
Yeah.
This series, because of what's going on with Vincent, what's going on with Strus, hell, even Butler to an extent, I don't see a way that Miami gets back into this. I just don't. And I've said this is going to be Denver in a short series since the beginning. Then the Heat had finally just kind of met a matchup that they can't out physical.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because it was easier for them in a Bucks team minus Giannis and Chris Middleton, who we learned this week has undergone surgery, with a team that wasn't playing at 100% to out physical them early. It was easy to see them out physical the Knicks. The Knicks are a young team. There aren't a lot of stars on that team, and they beat the Knicks at their own brand of basketball, Tibbs basketball, right?
Yeah.
They were just better at it than them. And with the Celtics, you can visibly see the way that they played shook Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can't bully the Nuggets the same way they bullied these other teams.
No, not even close.
They're
getting bullied.
Denver's physical.
Yeah. Jokic is physical and tough. People talk about him as like a finesse guy.
Finesser, get into the lane,
Dude
Euro
is
step.
physical and tough. He went and grabbed 21 rebounds.
He's got a new gash on the back of his forearm every single game, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he plays differently. And
the only guy on that team that's not physical and tough is Michael Porter Jr. Yeah.
Which leads me to this question. They gave him an impressive deal last year, right? He signed over $100 million deal for a guy that hadn't played and underwent back surgery. Like it was a big gamble investing that much money into that player. And this is a guy who, when it's not going well in this series,
Yeah, he shrinks.
And you can see it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's trying to hide it or he's playing
awful body
through
language.
it.
Yeah.
It looks like he's checked out.
Mm-hmm.
Do they try and move him this offseason?
No, I wouldn't try and move him. Still super young. Insane amount of potential. So I don't think they try and move him.
I'm just saying, in terms of culture, buy-in, not being a mesh with the rest of the team in terms of that culture, do they try and exercise something like that, especially with, gonna be paying Jokic a lot of money. Murray's about to get another bag.
I mean, if the price is right, I mean, sure, and I'm
Aaron
sure
Gordon,
anyone's
I'm sure
movable.
you'd love to return.
Yeah. But no, I don't think they try and move him.
Okay. I was just wondering because it's been blatantly obvious.
No, it has been
checked out in this series.
It has been blatantly obvious. His body language, it wasn't terrible last night, but the game before, it was.
I didn't think it was good last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's so dependent on hitting shots. Like if he's not making shots, then he completely changes his, demeanor as a player. But I think, I mean, he's still young, still a lot to learn for sure. Hasn't played a ton of basketball in, the last, I can't remember how long he's been in the season, but he didn't even play in college because he was hurt. So he's missed a lot of time, a lot of growing to do. So I don't think you give up on him yet.
Taking a look at our YouTube comments. Joker at the top of the key playing point guard, says David Alejandre.
Mm-hmm.
Joker is such, like, as great as he is in all the aspects of his game, which he's extremely good. As a facilitator,
it's insane.
He is so good.
Yeah. He's the best passing big man of all time. And it's not even close.
And it's more than just being a passer.
No, it's getting
it's
right
knowing
spot.
The spot, like when he needs to go versus getting everybody. It is so cerebral to just watch him play.
Right spot, right time, all the time. Like, all the time.
I love watching him play. And I was bringing up the Gordon thing because, or sorry, not the Gordon thing, but the Porter Jr. thing, because if they were to move on from him, because like you said, the price is right for anybody at some point, almost anybody. I don't know if there's a price for Wemby yet.
There's a couple guys in the league that there's no price for sure.
But who could you
to get him?
Yes.
I mean, I think
because I don't think he's off the table.
I think he's valuable for any team, really. 6'10" shooter, elite scoring ability. It's just all mental with him, so it's got to be the right team.
We talked about a team earlier that has been dying to put some pieces around their superstar.
Yeah, I mean the Mavericks.
That's not the one I'm referring to.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Dame.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Can see that.
They have the 4th pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, better get a whole lot more than Michael Porter Jr. for that 4th pick.
You think one of the Thompson twins or Cam Whitmore is their upside is bigger than what Michael Porter Jr. when we've seen him at his best is?
It's tough to say.
Because you're not getting Scoot, you're not getting Brandon Miller, and you're not getting Victor Wembanyama, right?
No.
Or maybe they're getting Scoot. But at the same time, if you get a Scoot, it's the same problem you have for 8 years with CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
You just got 2 elite backcourt guards.
Yeah.
It feels like you're kind of recreating the same problem you already found out didn't work. Because Dame does need the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So does
Absolutely.
Scoot.
Absolutely.
As far as we know.
I mean, in terms for that team, I'd probably say him or Cam Whitmore would be the better fits. Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Whitmore, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cam Whitmore brings a little more, well, not a little bit more, but a lot more.
A lot more twitchiness.
More twitchiness, more physicality, more toughness.
He is a big dude.
Yeah, big, strong, super athletic dude.
He is rocked up.
Yeah. So, but, I mean, Michael Porter Jr. would fit well on that team for sure.
I'm trying to find, because the more I watch him play in the series, and as he does not perform well, obviously, is there a reason to move him? And if so, what teams would be looking at him, right?
I think almost any team would be looking at him.
Okay.
He's basically a 6'10", 6'11" shooting guard. He needs to work on his physicality a lot, his mentality a lot. But if he can put it all together, he can be a premier scorer in the league, no doubt about that.
Greg Estrada asked an interesting question. I imagine it revolves around the San Antonio Spurs. He said, would it be worth it to give everything for the first and second picks, basically insinuating that the Spurs pull off a Houston Texans style trade? Yes. Jack and I will talk about that coming up next right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
"Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis."
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma. Recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm gonna let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Ribs, burgers, chicken. Submit what you grilled or smoked, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market.
So good and tasty?
Grilling with the Blitz.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover. We are your hangover without the headache right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. He is Jack Thompson. We are just a few short minutes away from finishing up and get ready for River Weekends.
Yes.
Oh, man. We got a question on our YouTube live stream. Of course, you can follow the show, watch us live, comment along on YouTube, search San Antonio Sports Star. Greg Estrada, who says he is a diehard Spurs and Cowboys fan, asks if the Spurs, would it be worth it for them to give everything for the first and second pick? And by everything, I assume you mean the treasure trove of draft picks that they've acquired from the Hawks and the Raptors and everyone else, and just starting to unload those. And I'll ask you this first, Jack. Michael Porter Jr., we talked about other fits with him. Because of his immense talent, I have to ask.
Yeah.
San Antonio Spurs?
Nah, not for me. I mean, great talent and incredible upside if you can put it all together, but
he was the number one overall prospect in all of basketball coming out of high school before the back injury when he initially signed with Missouri.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he works for us. I mean,
Why?
ideally we want Wemby playing the 4, Jeremy probably playing the 3, and he would take, minutes outside of that. So I just don't really want a guy that, we've seen on the biggest stage kind of, crumble when things aren't going his way. I don't think
You don't
bring
want
that
to
into
inject that mindset into a rebuild.
No, not really. I like Michael Porter Jr. I think, like I said, if he can put it all together mentally, then he can be an elite player in the league. But we're kind of, at number 1, we're drafting Michael Porter Jr. plus, 7 inches and can do more on both ends of the floor. So I just don't think he would really fit in the rotation.
Okay, fair enough. So, to Greg's point then, would it be worth it for the Spurs to pull off a Houston Texans type move and try and go back-to-back 1-2 scoop Wemby?
I mean, it really just depends on the price. Long term, that's incredible for sure. But I think when it comes to maximizing Wemby,
you know what the price.
Yeah.
You know the price it is insanely expensive.
Yeah.
But you're about to start running into the same problem that the Oklahoma City Thunder are running into.
Yeah, you got too many picks and you can only have so many players.
You can only have so many players, and eventually you're just going to be cycling through player year after year. You're not giving them any time to develop. They either hit or they didn't, because you can't keep them on your roster. And there's only so many Europeans you can stash, to which you're just wasting a draft pick. So I'm taking this player because he's not coming to the NBA right now, and I don't have to have him count on my roster.
I mean, there's definitely something to be said about that. Long term, it would be incredible. But I think to maximize Wemby and to really grow this team, you've got to use the first round picks to try and go get,
veterans.
Yeah. So, not even just veterans, like stars that have done something, that know the league, know what it takes to win in the playoffs, have potentially won championships, have been part of rebuilds, stuff like that. And I think going younger, while in the long run might be great, it brings us back even further in terms of right now in the rebuild, because it'll be a longer process to get them to that point. So I think I lean towards using all those picks to get other people.
Obviously, then you have veteran stars, at least in mind, if that's what you want to use your picks on.
Yeah, you would. I mean,
like,
hope.
I imagine you,
Oh,
Jack Thompson.
I mean, before the finals, I was completely all in on Jaylen Brown, or
Mhm.
before the Eastern Conference Finals.
That was a tough watch.
Yeah. Then we saw him have his moment to be, the guy on the court and lead the Celtics to the finals.
Go take it.
And that man crumbled harder than I've seen anything. I mean, they just forced him left, and it looked like he forgot how to dribble. Like, it was a turnover machine out there for Jaylen Brown. So I don't know how high I am on him anymore. I don't think I'm gonna go get him if he's being paid the super max, which he's gonna be paid by the Celtics, I'm sure. So,
Are you sure?
I mean, what other option do they have?
I mean, trade, sign and trade.
Maybe, yeah, if they find the right deal, yeah, certainly. But
I mean, I guarantee you, there's
there are suitors for him out
10
there.
teams that would line up today if they were like, Jaylen Brown wants out, we're going to trade him. What do you get? What's your best offer?
Yeah, I mean, I would still go and get Jaylen Brown, but I think, man, the contract that he's going to be owed for what I saw with him being the number one is tough right now for me.
Mhm.
There's always Dame, but that seems, pretty far-fetched. Brad Beal, I'm sure he wants to do something. He's not getting paid the super max, so I think he could be a value. I'd have to look at the, free agency market a little bit more.
Free agency, there's not a lot there.
Nah, not even next year. There's also not a lot either.
And I know Spurs fans well enough to know James Harden is
No.
nowhere on their wish list.
Definitely not James Harden. I definitely have to take a look at who are, last 2 years of their contract in the upcoming years to see who I really want to go and chase. But I think first and foremost, I think I'm going to keep harping on this. It starts with a big.
It starts with a big. But what if we have both talked very highly about Brook Lopez?
Yeah, I think he'd be perfect.
I do too. But that's where you're looking for stars around the league, and outside of Jaylen Brown or Dame Lillard,
Yes.
it's hard to find a guy that wants out of their
Yes.
current situation to come
sure.
to a team that basically still has to prove it once they get Wemby.
Yeah.
And finding a player that would want to come spearhead something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find. So does that not then at least give you, because you talked about the long-term possibility of a Greg Estrada, bringing in a vet like Brook Lopez,
Mm-hmm.
who's been through rebuilds, has been through teams, and then finally broke through over the hump on a championship-style team in a pop-type coaching tree with Coach Bud, and then trade your future assets to move up to 2 to get Scoot, and therefore you have your foundational pieces that you're going to build upon on top of the, help kind of lead the way, because I just don't see a lot of veteran megastars that if they do one out of their current situation that you would want. Like, you don't want to bring a James Harden in. I know half of Spurs fans don't want to bring Chris Paul in. I wouldn't be mad at that, but a lot don't.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a very divisive signing once he's released, if that were to happen. Dame Lillard, I think, would get people hyped, but I don't know how much Dame Lillard wants to be here.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because he's kind of in that situation minus the generational talent coming in.
Mm-hmm. I mean, looking at free agents over the next couple of years,
It's not pretty.
it's really not. Even into 2025, I mean, there's a lot of big names, but it's older dudes. You got Braun, Paul George, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday. One name that I do like, some Brandon Ingram.
BI?
Some BI. I would love some BI. That is a complete basketball player right there. But that's a 2025 free agent.
And with what's going on with Zion Williamson in New Orleans,
They're probably clutching on to him tight.
I wouldn't think that they want him going anywhere right
No.
now.
Yeah.
So it becomes very much say, you gather these picks for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Why not capitalize on that reason?
No, I certainly am not opposed to go getting Scoot. I just don't think like it but it also depends on what the Spurs are looking at as their timeline.
Sure.
As fans, we obviously hope they're accelerating it, wanting them to be aggressive, putting the team together around Wemby as quickly as possible. But if they are looking more long term and, trying to build it up more from the ground up rather than bring people in to do so. Yeah. I mean, you got 13 first round picks in the next 6 drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Send 4.
Including unprotected Hawks picks and pick swaps.
Yeah. So you send 4 or 5. How many do you think it would take to get 2? 4, 5?
I think you could get it with 4 or 5 first round picks, probably unprotect a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, then I'm not super opposed because that still leaves you like 9 or 8.
Because here's
to
the
work
worst case scenario with
draft.
those unprotected ones you'd be giving away.
Yeah. Well,
Even if for whatever reason you fell to the bottom
Mm-hmm.
and you win the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you're trading for anyway.
Yeah.
So giving that up in return in a worst case scenario, which,
Mm-hmm.
by the way, worst case scenario is that
Yeah.
I don't feel awful if that would be the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, also another, pro to going to get Scoot is it's another guy on a young deal, which would allow you to have money to go bring in more vets to put around those young guys.
Yep.
So yeah, when you really get into it, as far fetched as that sounds, the Spurs trading up to get the second pick, that would be the most unspurs thing I think I've ever seen.
They
But
have 3 first round picks next year alone.
yeah,
That's untenable.
yeah. And if you're drafting, 2 19-year-olds, why you don't need a first round pick next year?
You got a 20-year-old, 19-year-old in Jeremy Sohan.
Yeah.
You got a couple of 20 guys that can't even drink yet, and Devin Vassell and
So
Keldon Johnson. I mean, the core of the roster is there.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
You would think.
I'm for it.
And I've said this before. I'll say it until I'm proven wrong. This team was not as bad as they looked last year. It was willful.
Mm-hmm.
And when you saw the team at full strength, heck, you saw it against the team that's playing in the finals.
Yeah, we housed the Nuggets.
Punked Denver.
Yeah, we did.
Part of it is a team maybe overlooking you, but the other part of it is that team was at full strength at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the few late in the season games where we saw them at full strength.
Yeah.
But they were at full strength for the first time.
Yeah.
So you add Wemby, you add Scoot to a team that was probably closer to the play-in than it was the first pick, if not for willfulness.
Yeah.
I think this tolerated, but it's also lengthened because of the youth of the roster. He is Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover. We're going to put a bow on the show coming up next and talk about some of the big things going on in sports, whether that be a big move for the MLS, a big move in the NFL with a huge running back name coming free, or the possibility of a huge free agent like Chris Paul coming free. That's all coming up next here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Right now at Diamonds Direct, whether you buy a $3,000 diamond pendant or a $30,000 designer ring, you can spread your payments up to 5 years. Or if you prefer, you can get on-the-spot savings as much as $5,000. And everything's included. Exquisite diamond rings, earrings, bands, bracelets. It's our best offer of all time. You can pick a low monthly payment for up to 5 years or get instant savings up to $5,000. Don't miss this amazing offer. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis or candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Nothing is every day.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar is San Antonio's home for all things sports, drinks, and games. 7 days a week happy hour, sports on all HD screens, and plenty of arcade games. With 5 area locations: North Star, Nacogdoches, Medical Center, St. Mary's Strip, and Thousand Oaks. Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar has you covered for any occasion, catering to you and delivering San Antonio memories for over 10 years. Slackers, San Antonio's home for all things sports, drinks, and games. Follow Slackers on Facebook for events and specials.
This is 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into the Saturday morning hangover right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. I'm James Pledger, joined by Jack Thompson as we take you into the weekend. 11 o'clock right around the corner. We're going to get out of here in just a few minutes. But before we do, some of the big news this week. LIV and PGA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. We have not talked about this morning, Jack. Do you feel bad for Rory and the PGA?
I mean, yeah,
that held
sucks
so
big
strong
time
on that line.
Yeah, that sucks big time. Those guys lost out on a ton of money, but I mean, the PGA has just turned into a snake, man. I thought this was, they were talking themselves up about their morals and
moral high ground.
Yeah, like we're not taking that money, and then
they take the money.
Yeah, God, that's just so crazy to me. Snakes, just snakes in the grass everywhere you look.
Other big news this week was the fact that Lionel Messi, he's coming to the MLS, baby. Enter Miami. David Beckham scores the biggest name to ever. I know a torn ACL in one of their matches recently, and Chicharito was kind of a big name for MLS to get, but there is nothing.
No,
I'll tell you this.
Dude, that's like the EuroLeague getting LeBron.
Game 4 of the NBA Finals, $480-something a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Messi's debut tickets to that game are over $500 right now.
Yeah.
And I am looking at tickets to the Houston Dynamo game already, man. SAFC playing tonight, of course. Jason Garcia, I'm going to show the love to SAFC. They got a game tonight as they get set to take on, I believe it's the El Paso Locomotive. Game going to be 7:30 out at Toyota Field. And finally, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Released.
I mean, I would love to get Dalvin for sure. I think that would be incredible, but
27 years old, 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, over 50 touchdowns in his career.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be the most high-powered offense in the league, no doubt about that.
I would feel a lot better about their
Running back
wanting to
room.
run the ball.
Yeah.
If they added a Dalvin Cook. I
Mhm.
don't think it's going to happen.
No.
And I do think, as he posted on Instagram, that Miami is
Mhm.
imminent.
Yeah, I think
Which,
Miami.
my God,
Insane speed,
the
man.
insanity of that offense when it's already a really good running back room.
Yeah.
You add Dalvin Cook to the head of that snake,
Yeah.
and then you have Waddle and freaking Tyreek Hill on the outside.
Mhm.
Is just insanity. Jack, it's good to have you back.
Yes,
He is
sir.
Jack Thompson. I'm James Pledger. Thanks for spending your Saturday morning with us here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and ESPNSA.com.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called